I remember the first time when I came out here too. Like you had the whole thing lined up. You had those pictures and everything. You know, I never really met you. I'm Laura. I mean, I saw you one of the times I came out, but we never spoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go to the march that they had that I totally fucking missed?
There's all kinds of marches going on.
Well, there was one that, like, apparently the Harbor Division handed out white roses or something to those marchers.
It was made with a bunch of like an NAACP, some Democrat types, some establishment Democrats. It was like totally.
Did you go to it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just, I don't really. Why are you saying unity?
Yeah.
Is that the real issue?
Yeah. I mean, if they were really in unity, they would fucking take their uniform on, put their fucking badge or gun down, and then come and stand with us in unity. But they don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck this whole taking a knee, shaking a hand, hugging people that are trying to like reach out and shit. Fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You really fucking care about us, you fucking turn that badge and gun in and take that uniform off.
Yeah.
Turn in all the bad cops that we know are there. You could, you know, I said that too, and I said, I mean, yeah, they could take a knee, but like take a step back and show it. Like I look at the police like puppets. Like there's someone else holding, you know, doing the string. It's always an authority above them
agree with us too.
that protects them.
They could come out and disagree and be like, yeah, all these other cops are fucking killing people.
Yeah, and start pointing fingers at the fucking assholes.
Pointing fingers, like they know what's going on. Like, oh.
Yeah, they have to know. They have that protecting their own, but it's like I just figure because when they had the autopsy by the first, you know, the regular coroner totally differed from the second autopsy with George Floyd, and it just shows that it's run so much deeper than just the police.
I mean,
it's like the you know.
Their way they wanted to go.
They work with the coroner's office.
Yeah, I mean they'll be in the at the examination. Like, you think the bias of that is like, are you guys because you're friends? Like, it's totally unethical, you know?
It is.
All they try to tweak all the evidence to their favor.
Right.
If there's something bad, they just ignore it.
Yeah, and what his write-up was that basically, you know, and then of course he had coronavirus too, you know, like.
Oh my God.
Daniel totally called that one because like he was like, watch, he died from coronavirus.
Yeah, they're gonna tell everybody that passes away they had coronavirus.
And I was like, and I saw the article and I sent it to him.
Oh yeah.
Say that they needed to give the face of
I'd be like, your fucking punk ass officer gave him the fucking COVID.
Yeah, probably. Well, you know, he was in close proximity on his neck.
He gave him the COVID, motherfucker. Shit. Yeah.
I mean, it's just all trying to, degrade him because, like, that's what they do to your, like, the families are the ones they kill, right? They try to make you guys look bad.
He was gonna die anyways. Motherfucker, no, he wasn't. Shit.
Not right then, not right there.
Yeah, he was okay right then and there until you guys came and fucked with him. Then it was all bad. Like, that shit angers me, man. That angers me.
Hold on, let's see. I haven't been looking at the comments on it. I have a lot of R.I.P. Eric Rivera's.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Hi, everyone.
It's Valerie behind the mask. Eric's dad. Mom.
Eric's site.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
3 years.
No, I have a decent amount of people, maybe you can tell. Because I have a lot of new subscribers recently.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe not familiar with Eric, but if you want to tell them.
Eric, my son Eric was 20 when two LAPD officers gunned him down and ran him over with their out-of-control car because they didn't put it in park. June 6th of 2017, so today marks 3 years without my baby. And it took honestly, it took 1 second for them to pull that trigger when they pulled up right here on the street.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They finally fixed that, huh?
Yeah,
Dude, they was like that for years.
I know.
It's the same gate, huh? They just pulled it?
Yeah, so you can see it right here.
Okay.
They changed these 3 out.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was like that for years. It was a damaged fence.
Yeah, it was dented in.
Yeah.
Trying to cover their shit up.
Yeah, I mean, even that next night, remember, like, because Foxy and I came out that next night and we saw, like, all this stuff on the ground, like, it looked like whatever, it was bleach or whatever it was that they were, they put on the road.
So, yeah, they had to clear up his blood and stuff.
Yeah, because it was, so, I don't know if any of you guys aren't familiar with the Eric Rivera case. Let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, they shot him Within 7 seconds of the initial approach, they shot 11 rounds. 7 of them hit him. One was to the back. One was to his head. It entered right here, and it exited back here. That killed him instantly.
Oh wait, hold on, sorry.
That killed him instantly.
Okay.
And what's up? Did you get my message?
Huh?
Did you get my message?
Nah.
Oh shit! So you just showed up.
I remember it. I'm gonna forget about it.
I sent the message. I was like, it's 2 years today.
This is my sister.
Hi, thanks everyone for coming. Yeah, so fucking, within 7 seconds, they fired 11 rounds. 7 of them hit him. One was to the head that killed him instantly. He got shot twice in the back. He got shot once back here on the back of his leg. He got shot once in the side of the stomach, and he got shot twice in the shin. And so that just took 7 seconds alone. And then 11 seconds total. Like I said, they failed to put their car in park when they jumped out because they had their guns in their hand already. So they jumped out in such a quick, hasty manner. They didn't put that car in park. So the car's rolling towards my son right here on this driveway. And myself at the time when he was shot, he was shot right here somewhere. And the car hit him, and then the driver and the passenger realized, oh shit, the car's still in drive. And the passenger yells out to the driver, Daniel Ramirez, jump back in, step on the brake, step on the brake. So that you can see him, he's in the middle of the street, the driver. He starts chasing the car and gets halfway in and steps on the gas instead of the brake. And
So then he charges straight for him.
Yeah, so and you can hear it in the body cams because they never turn their dash cam on. So you can hear in the body cams, they go boom, boom, and it hits the gate. But it pushes Eric all the way over here. From like right there all the way up here, Eric's right here. And he's like underneath the whole front bumper. You see how low these cars are? Look how low that car is. Like that, their cars are low, and Eric was right underneath the whole front bumper of the carriage. Just centimeters, the left front tire stopped centimeters from his cheek. If it wasn't for this gate right here, it would have rolled over his head. And then they left it on top of him for 12 hours. The driver actually thought, after he jumped out of the car right here,
Yes, LAPD did.
he actually thought for a second, should I take this car off of him? And then he decided not to, and just walked away and took cover with the second patrol car that pulled up. But because he decided to turn around and walk away, they left that car on top of Eric for 12 hours.
And they had a
Giving him-
crane come and pick it up. It was the
Yeah,
weirdest thing.
yeah.
It's really
They
weird.
It happened at 8:50 p.m. and they didn't come until like 2 in the afternoon the next day. And they had to have a crane come and pick up the car and move it off of him. And it gave him excessive burn marks on his chest because of the heat under the car and being left on top of him. And in those 12 hours, for the first 3 hours, they never put a tent on him. They never covered him up, nothing. They just left him under there so everybody could see him under their fucking car, you know? But...
Yeah, somebody just said that they unanimously ruled that the 2 officers who shot, killed, and ran over Eric acted within the LAPD policy.
Yeah, and you know, they all... Look at... The thing is they're fucking key words, and this helps every fucking officer.
Right.
I feared for my life. That's
Right.
all they need.
Yeah.
I feared for my life, and they get away with it. And they're fucking trained to say that. Just say you feared for your life,
Right.
and then that way we could go ahead and put a stamp and say it's in policy, and you're good.
So you all went up to fight for a bill, the SB 1421,
yeah.
and then there was the other one,
AB 392.
and that's the one where they have to have, they can't claim fear for their life anymore, or what was it? I
Yeah, they
forget.
have to be in imminent danger
Right. Like,
for them to be able to do like any kind of force, like lethal force. So it's kind of washed
it's
down.
still like
The
too
police
broad,
union
right?
and we didn't want to work with them, with the police union and stuff like that. But the only way, because first of all, they were trying to say, well, we want more money for training, and us founders were like, fuck you, you ain't gonna get another dime from us. Like, what the hell, you got us fucked up here. And so we're like, fuck your training, you know? Like, you guys got plenty of, they collect 54% of the budget. They still got like $3 billion
Yeah.
that they could fucking work with. And they're gonna try to tell us we need more money for training.
Yeah.
Training ain't working to begin with.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna keep giving you money for this shit, you know? But they're like, well, we're not gonna sign it off unless you unless you guys kind of change a couple of words in the contract. You know what I mean?
In the yeah.
So I mean that's kind of it's still there, but and we work really hard. Trust me, us families we pour our hearts out. You know what I mean? And it's devastating to be around so many families and they're just bawling. You know, telling our stories to try to make change, to try to put these laws in effect. You know. 1421, they try to fight that too.
Yeah.
1421 is the right to know, which means that we have the right to know officers' names. We have the right to know if there's any sexual misconduct.
And yeah,
You know, we
basically
have
their whole
a
rap
right
sheet.
to know their background, their records, and they fight that shit. I mean, they're trying to fight that shit to the fullest, and they're trying to charge people, families, to
Yeah,
get
it's
the
an
report
insane amount of
all
money redacted.
You know,
Yeah, they
fuck
charge
that redaction.
nothing that any like normal like civilian could ever afford. Only like media
Yeah.
and anybody with like a lot of money can afford these
Yeah.
requests,
And
because
you
I know that I put in requests and I thought I was gonna get the information, and all of a sudden I got like a $5,000 bill to find out. I was like,
Yeah.
go fuck yourself.
They're like, oh, we need people to like, collect all the videos and redact it.
You know, the hours spent on
Yeah,
it.
the hours spent and blah blah blah.
Like, knock it off.
What the fuck? You guys ain't doing shit
That-
over
so
there. All
that's-
you guys do is sit behind a fucking table, man. Get your asses up and do something.
So that's where my argument of why, like, so many times when I'm recording them, they go, we have cameras too. I'm like, yeah, mine's available for free
Yeah.
right away. Yours, on the
Yeah.
other hand,
Yeah.
will take
Sometimes
a long
we
ass
never
time
see.
and a big ass dollar amount. You know, like, don't act
Yeah.
like, oh, you have a camera too. That's nice. Never see that.
Yeah.
Because even when it comes, especially when it comes to video, like, they're more inclined to give you some, like, copy and paste information of an officer. But when you start asking for, like, physical video or audio, it's like a nightmare. And you
Yeah.
have to, and then sometimes they tell you need a subpoena, and then you need to have an attorney, like all this
Yeah.
shit,
And like we wouldn't have had the dispatch call if it wasn't for you recording it that night.
Uh-huh.
Like we wouldn't have gotten that shit.
They
know?
never, because,
And
okay.
so that's how Eric's dad came across you, because when they first killed Eric's dad did a lot of footwork, knocking on the doors all around here, trying to get everybody before the detectives did. You know?
Yeah, that's smart.
And
Yeah, I tried talking to them.
yeah, before the detectives could come and talk
They
to him.
came down here like
They're-
3 cars deep, like 20 people of them, to knock on the doors, and it was just me and my
To
brother.
look, to see if anybody had cameras and everything,
Me
and
and
Yeah.
my brother really contact.
Yeah, yeah,
and then so wait, did you find my video on YouTube then?
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw it.
How did you find? Did you just put his
Just
name in the
Googling,
YouTube?
I would
just
just
Googling
Oh,
it.
okay.
looking at it.
Terms and stuff
I
like.
looked at
'cause-
Facebook, everything.
Yeah, because I mean, it drives any parent crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
we just want anything that we can fucking grab,
Right.
at that moment. Any answers, any videos, anything. And it's still hard to find anything.
Yeah,
There's not much out there
I
about
have
that
security
thing.
cameras at home, and I already know that you have to get them like in 24 hours or they'll get erased.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
security
that's
cameras in
why.
my house, and it does have like a loop where, like, at least my DVR records to a hard drive, and then it,
Yeah.
I think it's like a 20. I mean, it does it over a course of a month, but like literally, I don't know which day it is that it will like loop. So it's always kind of like,
I was worried about that. I was like, no, I gotta get over there and get a camera.
Yeah. And,
Right.
we still don't have no
and then there's
witnesses
people that are
except for
afraid.
one.
What?
And they're all afraid too.
Yeah, there's people that are afraid
Yeah.
who will tell anybody they didn't have the video, so then nobody gets it, but then, or somebody gets, I don't know.
And we only got the one, and it was the very person that was walking like 20, 30 feet behind Eric. But he didn't want to come forward at first.
Right. Was there somebody that was walking a dog or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's him.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to come forward at first, but Bill was like,
Please.
yeah, And then weren't you walking away, and then he, because his wife was like, oh, he's not here. I guess he was telling her, just say I'm not here or whatever. But then he ended up coming out and talking to Bill. Like his
Well, I
conscience.
talked to a lot of people that said they heard it or saw it. Some people had some videos of it, but most of it was
After
after.
part.
Right. And there was
Yeah,
people that took pictures because he was exposed
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I got
stuff.
the pictures from them. I got all the videos from most of the people. I had to bring my laptop and stuff.
Maskilla says hi.
Who?
Maskilla.
Oh, hi, Maskilla! Thank you for all your love and support you always give me every time I'm on watching the videos and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of you might actually, I mean, I'm sure you know her from my videos, but also from Tom Zebras because of the Ortiz incident.
Yeah, fuck that
Fucking-
fool Ortiz.
Yeah,
man.
so not only-
He ain't done with me either.
LAPD and the Los Angeles Sheriff are notorious murderers, basically.
Yeah.
The sheriff have an extra bit of protection by the fact they don't have body cams or dash cam. I would assume maybe they have a microphone or audio, but whatever whether they
Yeah.
give that up or not, they have that extra shield of protection
Yeah.
for
I
them.
wish they
It's
had
disgusting.
some audio in the
They have
car
no
with the shit that
transparency.
they were telling me when they arrested me that night.
Yeah, it's disgusting because when you
Yeah.
think about it, it's like, how many, like, I'm sure my disgust is shared, but so many people have tried to get the sheriff's department to put cams on, and
Yeah.
like they just outright refuse.
Oh,
Like they
yeah.
can't afford it. Like motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, we can't afford it.
No, you can't afford the
Good.
lawsuits that would come if there was
Yeah.
evidence. That's what you can't afford.
Yeah,
Like, don't lie.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But Ortiz is man, that's a dirty ass sheriff, man. He is so dirty and so wrong. He's a problematic sheriff. That's what he is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
A
mean,
huge
from the gate when he came in, he
problematic.
reemployed officers that were fired or let go because of domestic violence. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, he fought to get these assholes back on.
Yeah.
Like immediately. It was like,
Yeah.
whoa, bro.
Yeah.
And I think was it him that no, it was the interim sheriff that was like saying that he wanted to be transparent. I think he's the one that let go of that list of like bad cops, I think. I'm not sure, but there's like a list that the DA like technically has like, questionable officers, but the public didn't know about.
Yeah.
But he was just a temporary after Baca. And McDonald? I don't know
Yeah,
if I'm saying that.
yeah,
And then
McDonald.
and then this asshole comes in and
Yeah.
like he's just such a. I mean, it's like there's just nothing anybody could say. It's crazy. Like he doesn't even try to like sugarcoat shit. He's just like no. Oh, and then the extra with the inmates trying to, purposely infect themselves with the virus. But this just comes like within the week of having a class action lawsuit against them because of all the inmates that are sick in his jails.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden, the inmates are doing it on purpose. How the fuck did they just come up with the virus? Like, how did they do that?
Yeah.
Like they got petri dishes in there. They figured out how to do transmit. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Boston anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And then Michael Moore has been saying all kinds of stupid
Oh,
shit.
he always.
I mean, he always does,
talks
but but now the whole world's watching.
Yeah.
And then Eric Garcetti's like trying to like run, clean up on him, and then says, okay, we'll withhold $150 million. But then there's that point that there's a $3 billion
Yeah, $3
budget.
billion's left.
So I don't know if 150 even puts
it's
a
not
dent
even-
in these
yeah,
motherfuckers.
It's not.
But it's like it was a pacifier, you know.
Which is something I want to tell the viewers. We need everybody to come together and organize. Number one, we need to organize. The families are out here. I got like 3 families out here right now supporting me right now, and but we also need the community to come and support us too. Like hit up LAPD commission meetings. At the time, before this whole epidemic happens and stuff like that, we will be able to go to LAPD headquarters and confront them. But you've seen how it is.
They shut down the meetings immediately.
Yeah, they just get up and walk out.
As soon as y'all start being real,
they get up and
they walk out and then then
you're constantly surrounded by cops all around you.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people
They
feel
get in your
comfortable going
face
in there.
so they can
But
arrest
now they have their meetings on Zoom.
Oh, right.
So all you guys
So they
do is
just
stay home
unmute
and-
you
Hey.
if they don't want to hear what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So they mute you, yeah.
Yeah, or they'll just be like, cut you off, your time is up and click, you know what I mean? But you still get 32 minutes, okay? And you can call from the comfort of your own home. And you know what? Hand Chief Moore's ass and tell him, Chief Moore, you are fired. The people fired
Resign,
you, okay?
fired,
You're
resign.
fired by the people. Call them up and just talk shit in your 2 minutes. That's all, you know what I mean? Do the same thing for Sheriff Alex Villanueva. I got family here right now that goes up against Alex Villanueva, always going to the Civilian Oversight Board, confronting him. Do the same thing for him. Hand them their asses and let them know that the people are fed up. We're fed up.
This is the time, too.
Yeah, this is the time.
The whole world is watching.
The first time ever, last Tuesday's commission meeting, it lasted 8.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
And usually they'll try to shut that shit down in an hour and a half of it. And in that hour and a half of it happening, they're the ones talking the whole fucking time. Excuse my language, right?
Yeah.
But 8.5 hours they had to sit there and listen to every single one of us take our 2 minutes talking shit to them. Hand it to them, man, because they're out here doing wrong. They're trying to put curfews on us.
Yeah,
Let me
that
tell you
would be,
something. The reason why we don't have curfews no more, the reason why our phones ain't buzzing off every fucking 15 minutes is because ACIU and Black Lives Matter fucking sued the state and said, you guys are fucked up for putting this curfew. You guys are going to sit there and tell us we got to stop at 6 o'clock and
yeah.
we want to arrest everybody
In
at
some cities,
6:15?
2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Instead, Venice or something, or somewhere, yeah, it was like 2.
And they want to arrest everybody at 6:15? Like, no, this shit ain't cutting it. First of all, we have a right to be out here marching. We have a right to be out here protesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, there's a difference between like the
And like all,
Right,
and like
or-
all the
yeah.
looting and stuff like that,
That's
that
not-
has nothing to do with us.
yeah.
Like they're trying to pin it
Yeah,
like
someone
it's all
totally different.
no.
And then let's just be honest, when they say we're trying to protect the businesses, they stood by while all these businesses were being.
Yeah.
I mean, these
Yeah.
kids were running right
Yeah.
past them. Like, oh, good job for protecting the business. It's too late. It's too late. So don't say you're trying to
Rather
protect them.
arrest protesters that are not doing nothing wrong.
I mean, there's just
Yeah.
video upon video
I mean,
upon
just
video
to
of
attack the
just
peaceful
attacking.
protesters.
Oh, this is guy doing stupid. They just
to
flying
attack
down like
the
that.
peaceful protesters, like that's outrageous. And then like they're over here towing cars like
Oh, I know.
crazy.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
the fact that
God.
they are like taken off the streets, like processed at like the stadium or something for like 4 hours, right? That's what LAPD did. And then in the midst of this whole 4-hour detention, oh, they figure out or find their cars by their ID, maybe by their registration, like if whatever car's registered to their name, and if they could find it, they towed it. It was like a mass towing. And then because there's so many tow trucks, that LAPD car ran right into a tow truck. I was like,
yeah.
oh, the irony.
Yeah.
I was like, why was he there? Why was he there?
They're like, oh, there's,
Because the tow truck had
there's
run a
two
red
that's
light,
critically
supposedly, but I'm
injured.
just gonna go ahead and
I
assume
hope
it was
it's
the
them
other
that's
way.
injured. Shit.
Yeah, there was 2 officers, I think, in the car. One of them had to be like extracted,
Yeah.
but and the tow truck driver, like all of them went to the hospital. But it's like, I was like, oh, that's funny. Wonder why they were there. the karma is real.
It is.
Thank God, finally.
It is. It really is.
I mean, I never wish like harm against
Yeah,
anybody,
yeah,
but
yeah.
but when it happens and nothing to do with
Yeah.
me, I could see it for what it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yes. But yeah, just, get involved,
Yeah.
There's organizations out there that are coming together, for Black Lives Matter LA.
Hey, Lance.
Black Lives Matter LA, man, is a perfect organization to try to get involved in. I mean, they have been by my side since day one. They bring the families together. They help us families go and take these long bus trip rides to the state capitol to fight for these laws. They're doing a lot of the paperwork for us. Like
Wait. I feel like an idiot right now though because I have this video I've been trying to circulate, and I've attached like the Black Lives Matter on Twitter, but I don't ever know which one is like
a good
an official
organization,
one, I
yeah.
guess. But because of the when Daniel and I went out to Lennox and those sheriff had beat this man so bad, and I
I
can't get
seen
any
that.
information out of that. And I
And
guess
they
I feel
beat
stupid
him
because
bad.
maybe you could like share that because I've gotten nowhere with that information.
On
like
what
this,
information?
I'm finding out who he was,
Oh, yeah.
why it was, what was the
I haven't
circumstances.
heard nothing about it either.
I mean, if you could share it with whoever
Okay, and see
that would be
who
great.
That person is.
Or even just to get it out there, like,
Yeah.
and eventually it would,
Yeah.
maybe hopefully get to his family members or
All
something.
right. You know what? I'm gonna look it up.
I'll send
then.
you another link,
Yeah,
an
I'll get
official
it,
link.
and
but-
I'll post something for it.
Yeah.
And
Because like it was,
Up.
I mean, it was. I
They
was like,
beat this
whoa.
guy up so bad.
I mean, he was unrecognizable. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, it's just, but yeah.
And there was just blood all over the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff. He had one spot here, one spot here. Like he put that man in a
Yeah.
chokehold for sure. Yeah, and like I mean, it was just one of those things. It's like, wow, are you guys like one man, 25 deputies?
Yeah.
Like, is that overkill? And he had said at some point too, because it literally was like we must have gotten there just as they like handed off him to the next deputy, because like the ones that had the interaction with him were
Yeah.
probably tired because
Yeah.
because beating a guy's ass.
Yeah.
That there was
That's
like
right.
3 other deputies that were like on him, and it must have been like within moments because one of the female deputies, we heard them saying OC, OC, and she was running to her unit, and when we were running up, and Daniel's like, stop it, or something, and then she like stops in her tracks, and like just kind of like backstepped, and we were like, and it wasn't until like after the fact that we were like, that's what they were gonna spray him after that, like he was done.
Yeah,
He was done like.
I wouldn't put it past, like, if you guys didn't show up, they probably would have killed him.
Yeah, they might have killed him, or just and made it
Fucked
a
them
lot
up
longer
a
to
lot
like.
more, you know?
And so, because like the deputies that were directly on him, we knew weren't like the responding deputy because they weren't all covered too much with blood or anything, you know. But like we think that they beat him with like their flashlight because none of them had like busted knuckles or anything. It's
Yeah.
like they know over the. I'm sure that
Yeah.
they've been taught. This is how you keep yourself from like playing.
Yeah.
Like beat him with some inanimate objects.
Their baton and stuff.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, it was just it was shocking. You know, when you watch the videos, I'm like you can be like, oh my god, but like being there, I was like, yo, and especially with deputies, but we were recording for like so long, and that was another thing about this case too, is because I've been recording Harbor Division for
Yeah.
like the years before, and then I'm having to face these guys and go like, you really are just a bunch of dirt, you know, like, and not to say that I liked them before, but I definitely spoke to some of the like the second unit that responded to this one,
Yeah.
with Martinez and
I
Sternin.
don't even know
It was
their names.
yeah, it was Martinez and Sternin because I know that I heard.
Martinez and I heard Sterling.
Yeah, they were partners a lot. You know, I recorded them a lot.
Really?
I remember hearing
those are the
Martinez's
second
voice
people that
over
you
the.
got?
I'm sorry.
Those are the second.
Those are the second one. The whatever they kind of put them as D and C or
Yeah.
C and D or whatever in the report because you know how they first named them as AB
Yeah.
and then there was CD.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
were CD.
shit. So those are the names.
Yeah, Martinez and Sternin. So they were immediately responding like, but it was done.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but
you know who they are? Can
yeah,
you send
I
me a
talked to
picture
them.
of what they look like?
Yeah, no, like, yeah, for
Okay.
sure. I mean, I've recorded them together a
Yeah.
lot. I can show you a video.
Yeah.
But I know that, well, I can talk to you more about that later, but, like, it's just, like, those things that I'm just, like, this can't be the only nasty shit that you've witnessed, or, you know, but, however much they want to separate themselves from it, because that's what when I tried to talk to them about it, that's what they do. They just naturally separate themselves from it.
Yeah.
That's why things don't change.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Because they don't want to listen or try to understand or anything like that. You know?
yeah, this is Harbor Division we're talking about. Right now we're on Wilmington
Yeah. Wilmington
and
Boulevard and Denny.
Denny. This is where LAPD Harbor Division officers, say their name again?
Danny Ramirez and Arturo Urrutia.
Yeah, they killed Valerie's son right here. You know, because they feared for their life. And
Yeah.
I mean, basically you can kind of rewind this. And I've had videos to tell the story about Eric Rivera, her son, 20 years old, right?
Yeah.
It's been 3 years since they murdered him.
Yeah.
And they unanimously decided that it was justified, of course.
Yeah.
And Valerie has not only fought for her own son, but continues to fight for other people's families
Yeah.
that have been affected in the same way and to prevent this happening to anyone else.
Yeah. 'Cause there's never any accountability, and there needs to be accountability.
Right.
There absolutely needs to be accountability. Another thing about speaking on accountability is holding the district attorney Jackie Lacey
Right.
accountable.
She hasn't prosecuted an officer
Yeah.
since like or at least it was before she became DA, right? It was like
So she's
the last
been-
time was in 2001.
So she's been DA almost 8 years now.
Uh-huh.
She's on her second term.
Right.
She's trying to get her third term in, but we say nah, Jackie.
Yeah, nah, we done with
there ain't
you.
no third term for you, lady. And so in the last 7.5 years, there's been 600 plus deaths
Wow.
by the law enforcement. So 600 more deaths.
Is that by all departments or just
It's
LAPD? or-
LAPD, LA sheriffs,
And all the
people that are
cities.
incarcerated in the jails.
Right.
So 608 in 7.5 years, including the 2 cops that killed my son.
Okay.
And so let me just say this: not every killing has one cop.
Right.
There's multiple cops that can kill one person. In my son's case, it's 2 cops that murdered my son. There's some cases where there's 5 cops. There's 12 cops murdering one person, which means that there's thousands and thousands of killer cops still in LA County that are still working.
And the worst part, tell them when he went back to work, when they went back to work.
Yeah.
After they killed.
Yeah, so Chief Beck at the time, who is the ex Los Angeles Police Department chief, he signed them to be okay and go back to work the next day like it was
The
no
next
big deal.
day.
The very next day, he's like, "Oh, you guys did what you guys were supposed to do. You guys did nothing wrong. Anybody else that was in your position would have did the same thing, and let them go back to work." They don't work for the Harbor Division anymore.
Right, no, they've been moved.
They've been split, and so one moved like 4 months after, and the other one moved like 9 months after.
And I had said, come over here for a second. I had said that I didn't recognize those officers,
Yeah.
And didn't you find out that they had never met each other?
Yeah, at the deposition, I heard. Because I've been, I've sat right in front of these killers, and I was able to be there for their deposition and hear it out of their own mouth what happened that night. And they did say that they've only seen each other like twice in the department, huh? They only seen each other like twice, and they never said hi to each other. They never were introduced to each other, but they kind of seen each other through the department. But that night was the first night that they ever worked with each other. And there was, when they got that dispatch call, and there was no communication between the two at all. Not
In the
one
car?
fucking word was spoken to each other. And in the second patrol car, they were all the way down over there by Avalon at the time, huh? It was Avalon.
Yeah, they were in the
In that
Wilmington area,
yeah,
and then
like over
they
there.
rushed over. I mean, they were here pretty much once. They'd already hit. I think when they rolled up, right?
Yeah.
Like he was
this was already
underground,
done,
and they ran up not knowing where the suspect was.
Yeah.
And they had to tell him, right, that he was under the car.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? What? Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. So they showed up, and in they turned their dash cam on. They
Yeah,
also had
there's
their
the
body cams on.
Yeah.
And so we got the dash cam from that second car.
Yeah.
When they pulled up, the officer was already kind of right here, and he had his gun down, and he was kind of like backing away a little bit. I think that was the very moment where he was contemplating on whether to take the car off of there. But he was backing, and he was kind of like, fuck, like kind of taking it all in. And then you see him run and take cover by the second patrol car.
Oh, because the car hit him in the elbow, and he thought he was hit, right?
Well,
I forgot about
the
that, right? Like he thought he was shot.
Yeah, the
he fell to
passenger.
the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was knocked down by the
He
door.
No,
Or-
I don't know, but
Because the car was rolling.
Yeah,
the car was rolling.
the car was rolling, but he was firing.
Oh, okay.
I think the door might have hit him.
Clipped him a
And
little
he
bit.
kind of tripped and he fell straight. He had like two little circles like this on his elbow, right on his elbow bone.
Yeah.
And he's all talking about how he was.
Yeah, I
in
remember like hearing that,
excruciating pain.
hearing it over the scanner. It was shots fired, like
Yeah,
like they were
officer down,
officer down.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, he just
And
fell.
then Martinez and Stern responded, and I
Yeah.
think they're like,
But see,
No,
in their
bro.
in their videos, you can hear them talking and communicating with each other since Avalon.
right.
So they're driving. They're taking the side streets all through here.
Yeah, they've been. Yeah, Sternin and Martinez have been partners many
Yeah,
times.
I don't know.
They were because Sternin was on probation in Harbor. I don't know, like what level Martinez was. They almost seemed like they were at the equal level. Neither of them were like striped or anything. But Martinez went on to gang or something, and Sternin was put anyway. But
Yeah.
he did his probationary period here.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I've recorded them so many times together,
have to
so
see
I
that
know that they
video.
probably had whatever that connection that most partners
Yeah.
should have to at least
Right, to communicate.
Yeah, you need to communicate.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
I know you said it before too. It's not just one thing that killed your son. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a lot of mistakes.
a lot
yeah.
of mistakes, one after another.
They
That
lost
things that
control
could
of
be
the car.
completely preventable.
One of the cops
Yeah.
fell to the floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other cop
There's
tried
no
to get back in the
communication.
car and pushed the brake. He pushed the gas.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
never
like-
turned the dash cam on.
Were they drunk? That's like drunk behavior.
Right.
Yeah.
It's negligence.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
a drunk person would do less than that.
And one of them, which one had an OIS before?
That was your Thea.
Yeah. Did you ever find out? Did you ever find out what that was?
No.
They have something where you can't tell. I don't know. But the lawyers can check.
Oh, they never brought it up. His past
They
OIS.
had sent me, remember ACLU after the 1421? They had sent us some information, but we couldn't get it on the internet because it was
Right.
encrypted.
Oh yeah, it was all blacked out.
Yeah,
It was all
so-
redacted.
but-
The
Oh.
whole thing was redacted. We
Like-
couldn't even
Yeah.
read it.
Like, don't even give
It
it
was
up
all
there.
in-
It was like duh, then redaction, and then like something else. It's like I can't even read it.
Yeah, when it's
Yeah.
just like a pure black screen.
It was redacted, but
Yeah.
but I just got word. I forgot. I didn't get to tell you too. I just got word like 2 days ago that the ACLU, who's been helping me get the 1421 going,
Right.
that the judge granted it. Well, the judge has been granting it for me, but that the judge, because they're trying to get the money.
Right.
So the judge got in and said, hey, nah, these
No, yeah,
families don't need to pay. You
Right.
guys need to fork this over to these families without asking them to pay.
Yeah, that's not
And
right.
so they said that they're going to be getting all that stuff from me and start giving it to me. So
Okay. All right. Yeah, let
it's
me
a
know when
fight.
you get it.
It's, and this stuff wouldn't be happening if we weren't out here
Right.
sharing these stories and fighting. Like,
shouldn't
that's
have to
fucked
do that.
up.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
It's so fucked
Shouldn't
up.
shouldn't.
have to do that. It should be given to us the next day.
I mean, this is
all
like
the
a-
videos should be given us to the next day. It should be.
Yeah.
I mean, to have to like relive this day in and day out.
Every day.
I feel for you guys. Like,
Every day. There's not a break in the year.
I mean, not that anybody would,
There's
for any
not a
circumstance
break.
forget about it, but like it's like this is like a constant battle for you guys.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I get these. Did you make these?
Yeah, I made the chocolates and grandma that lost her grandson made these for me. Like I said, there's family here that lost their loved ones too.
Do you think anybody would want to talk to me and tell me their story?
Yeah, you can ask.
You can introduce me or
Yeah.
let me get these signs.
Man, like they must have just did this.
That's nice. I know. Like it was like this for years. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. You can still see it a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold on, you can stay with me. I don't mind. Yeah, this is Delia. She lost her brother.
Oh, hi.
Cesar Rodriguez.
I'm Laura.
About like a month and a half after Eric was killed.
Oh,
by
really?
Long Beach.
Oh, I remember with the train.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, brutal.
It's just a shock of like some of these, like with being run over and then it's just like. Yeah, I remember she was at one of the last memorials. His mother. Is that,
Yeah.
yeah, that was.
Yeah, and then this is Lisa Vargas. She lost her son Anthony Vargas almost 2 years now, right?
In August,
August in 2 years.
What
yeah.
department was that?
East LA Sheriff's Department.
Oh, sure. Oh, the Bandito. Yeah, we've been. See, I record the police because they violate people's rights, in the street, and I record Harbor Division or LAPD and then Sheriff a lot, other departments too. But I noticed that. I mean, there's just such a dirt, and then so I like to question them. I'm like, which one are you? 3,000 Banditos? What? I mean, I forget sometimes all the names, but they're like an actual documented gangs within the department. Yeah, right out the jail. They make these pacts while they're doing their probationary period, I think.
Because at 3rd Street East LA Sheriff's Department, they had the Fort Apache emblem on it, and we fought a bunch of people from the community to get that taken down. When Villanueva came into office, he put it up there.
Yeah.
So we took it down because it says it's very degrading for our Mexican culture, for our Hispanic culture, for our Hispanic culture. So we went and we presented it before the COC, before the Board of Supervisors, and they took that stuff down. Villanueva tried to say that he took down because in the inside in the back, they had an emblem on the floor. And that came out in their web page or something. They had it, so they were like, oh, this is the only place we have it. No, you don't. It's on your web page, and it shows a big sign on the floor.
Right.
So we had them go in and we had them clean that out because that ain't gonna happen.
No.
That ain't gonna happen. That's gonna happen. So we fight very hard against just all of us.
Yeah.
Jackie Lacey.
To support each other too.
The Board of Supervisors. Everybody's there. I'm a community member, so I do a lot of work in the community already, and it affected my health.
Right.
So I work with human trafficking, so I'm a human trafficking victim.
Okay.
So being that I'm working with God, I used to work at the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department Human Trafficking Task Force.
Okay.
That ain't happening.
No, yeah.
They lost a good worker. They used to call me in. They said, we need you on this case. They said, we need you. And I'm a therapist, so that's my part. I don't
Right.
do the criminal part. I just do, the healing part. I tell them, you can kiss my freaking big ass. I said, because I ain't touching anything. You ain't got
Right.
nothing coming from me. You took my child, who was a community member. Like, my son was the same way. My son was a Christian, so he was doing Bible studies in the projects. He was taking the kids out fishing. He was trying to change the community. He was doing it one person at a time. And when this happened, it hurts us as a community a a lot of people in East LA stuff because they were like, everything that they said about him is so far-fetched. Like,
Yeah.
this is not.
Yeah, that's what commonly they try to degrade the family. They try to make the family and the individual look like they deserved it
The
somehow.
day that they killed him, we had people come up to us and tell us, like, we can't get involved, even if we've seen anything, because
Is
the
there-
first thing they asked us was, are you legally here?
Are you what?
Legally here.
Oh,
Wow.
So the intimidation technique was
Oh.
from gate one.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people, there were witnesses, but they won't come forward. And all of a sudden they disappeared.
yeah.
You know, we had
They're
people
scared.
move out, you know. And you know, like we said, that's okay because at the end of the day, we see Anthony's case. We know Anthony's case. You know, we know what kind of kid he is. People rise up and say, you want letters? I can get you 500 letters right now that will tell you in all those projects who he was. Taking trees to people that didn't have trees, taking gifts to the kids, playing with the kids. He was family. He was the glue to our. We fell apart.
Yeah.
We fell apart. We didn't know how to do anything without Anthony because he was only 21 for 2 weeks. But he was the man of the house. He was the one that took care of everything. So it got difficult, you know, and it's still difficult. But in our moments when we feel like we didn't have the strength, we just remember why we're here.
Right,
This
right.
was Anthony. He didn't deserve this. Like,
Yeah.
no child deserves it.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that the Vargas family has said, like, we call everybody's name when we're out there protesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care where we're at. I've spoken at the Chicano Moratorium. I've spoken big places and all Eric's always in our heart, you know, Caesar. You know, we have all these families that we just support so much because at the end of the day, nothing that anybody can do is going to bring back our
Right.
children home. But we're going to fight so this doesn't happen to
To
us.
another person, yeah.
That we don't have
Each other
to see
in
the
this.
next person.
Yeah.
It's nothing that they give us, no money, no conviction, no kind of therapy. They can give us mansions. None of that is going to replace what we lost.
Right.
So my thing is, if we can't help clear my son's name, we're gonna clear my son's name.
Yeah.
But along with it, we're gonna take in every other person that's been.
Right. Because nobody else needs to feel this pain.
What color you are, you can be black, you could be brown, you could be white, you could be purple, you could be orange. You got your child taken from law enforcement, I'm standing behind you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, we're standing behind you. And we've made such beautiful friends.
I know you guys have made like such a difference. I mean, the trips to Sacramento and like, I mean, you guys just aren't sitting around feeling sorry for yourselves. Like you're in action, and I think you guys are also brave, and I really appreciate what you guys, you know, are going for. And God, and I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's very hard.
I mean,
Not a lot of people have that strength.
right.
A lot
But
of
it's scary. Too.
It's scary. Yeah.
we're
I mean, they are obviously murderers.
So when we just had this discussion, me and my sisters the other day, if it wasn't for Valerie and Mateo reaching out to us on my Sunday, we wouldn't even have known where to begin.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know, we wouldn't
Okay.
have known where to begin. And that's what we do for people. You know,
Right.
we live out in East LA, so there's not really anybody supporting anybody out there. So we kind of go after those families and say, hey, this is our name, this is our number, whatever you need, whatever.
Yeah, it's
you
a
just
club
keep
that
hearing.
nobody wants to be a part of, but
Yeah, but just to
the
let
differences
them know
you guys make.
We're there
Like,
to help.
we're there
to help.
that we're doing things to come together. If you need us, we're here. You know?
And yeah, it's like a bittersweet, like, you know, that in that moment, like you're so down, but like thankful that there's somebody that does understand and does have something like.
And most importantly, it's really important because it's us mothers that have been through it that will not go to you and tell you it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
They're in a better place.
Yeah.
That's the kind of crap that we don't want to do.
Yeah,
we don't
no,
want
for
to
sure.
That. Don't tell us that. Don't tell us it's gonna get better in time. Don't tell us
'Cause
that
it's
God
not.
took us for a reason. No, we don't. That's not what we do. So as mothers, we know what to say, what not to say to comfort that person.
Right.
Sometimes you just need to go up to them and just stand next to them.
Yeah.
Just stand there, let them cry. Just stand there and hear them weep.
And she lost her grandson too.
Yes.
I mean, families, man. We families gotta stick together. You know. I mean, we're going
And Barbara's been off.
Yeah.
She comments and she's there.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah.
you could do this.
Yeah.
You're in our prayers.
Yes.
That's great.
And then we have Miss Rosa right there. I mean,
Yes,
Miss Rosa,
Rosa.
Yes.
she's a little fire. She's a little firecracker.
Yes, and I have to just love and protect
Como
her
quiere-
so
como
much
tú eres
because
como una
I know
fuerte.
how hard it is
Como una
for not
fuerte.
having Caesar.
Mhm.
Like that was her only
Esperando
son,
para-
you know. And like I know how her heart shatters, man. Me and her, we cry for our babies, you know. And she's so scared, especially because like they said, are you illegal? You know what I
Oh
mean?
shit, yeah.
That's so fucked up.
Like, excuse me, you just murdered my child, and you want to have?
I
remember asking
I'm
Amelia,
always
why
here
doesn't
for her.
everybody come for Easter?
I'm gonna sign off this live, but if you want to say your loved one's name that they took,
Yeah, Eric Rivera, say his name.
and then
Eric Rivera.
Cesar Rodriguez.
Cesar Rodriguez.
Say his name.
who, do you want to say the name of who you lost?
Christopher Alexander Okamoto, he was 21. He was murdered by Officer Alejandro Patino, a senior officer in Bakersfield, California.
And you,
My son was Anthony Vargas. He was 21 years old the day he passed away. He had only been 21 for 2 weeks. He was killed by the East LA Sheriff's Department.
all right, thank you guys. I'm gonna sign off the live, but I'll be here still.